Hello, YouTube Live. This is new. This is new. This is fun. All right. Are we seeing me clearly? Are we hearing me clearly? I think my light may be a little intense. Maybe we can help me a little bit with the light. Not sure where to look. This is all very interesting. All right. Even a little less even maybe. That's better. That's better. Can everyone hear me at this point? I do want to say if you are trying to comment and you can't, it's because you do need to be a subscriber of this channel in order to be able to ask questions or say anything. So I'm seeing quite a few people here. Yay, hi. There she is, you're looking fabulous. Hi, you look great. Hello, dear Melanie. Yes, we see and hear you. Hello. Yes, we can hear you. My first YouTube live ever. Thank you for this. Yay. Hi, gorgeous souls. Happy to be here. Yay. Okay, so if you're struggling with trying to post or comment and you can't, just subscribe and you will be able to within a minute or so. Oh my gosh, I won $500 after the masterclass yesterday and I'm going to win more. All of a sudden this pops up. I'm so excited. That's so fun. All right, so today is a Q&A. Today we had put up a thread in the group for everyone who wanted to ask questions to be able to ask questions, and we have some really good ones. So we may not be able to get to all of them today because there was quite a few, but we're going to get started and see what magic comes through for us today. So the first question is from Heather. And Heather says, I got asked this on Friday from someone trying to recruit me into their network marketing organization. Why do you do what you do if you don't need the money? It activated me heavily in all kinds of ways. I'm still journaling my thoughts. I thought I'd share the question here too. By the way, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your generous leadership. You have restored my faith in this industry. Oh my gosh, thank you, Heather. It's so nice. Okay, this is a very good question. So I think historically in life, we've been taught that we work because we need money. That's the reason that we work. It's because we want to make money. However, there's also such a thing as like passion work. And for me, passion work is the thing I would do even if I were not paid. And that's like the artists, that sing, or that the actors that act, that would do it whether it was free or not. It doesn't matter. It's the work of their lifetime. For me, this profession is kind of like that. I do this work because I would do it whether I was paid or not. I did it before I was paid properly, and I do it now that I'm well paid, and it's just the work of my life. So I think there just comes a moment in life where you just know this is your calling, this is your journey, and this is what you want to do. And actually, I think that one of my big purposes in helping human beings be set free from this need for money is to find out what you actually would do with your life if you didn't have to worry about how much it paid. Like, there's so many people who only have the profession they have because of how much money it pays. But would they really do that if they didn't need to? If there were another profession that paid them equal or more, would they still be doing what they were doing? And so what I'm more interested in is, would you still do this if you weren't paid? And if the answer is yes, we can move into passion work. And so I hope that answers the question. Let's see if we have anything said here. I'm here for the passion work and for the money. Yes, I'm here for the passion work always. I love that. And finally found the passion work that I would do even if I wasn't paid. That's the magic. That really is the magic. I've been coaching for 32 years. It's my life. So to someone who's only working for money, this might feel like a foreign concept, but to us, we get to be wildly compensated for something that we absolutely adore. What a gift is that? Now, I'm trying to figure out where to look. I'm not going to lie. So usually I would look here, but that kind of looks like I'm looking down. Does this look like I'm looking too up? I don't know where to look. Where does it look weird? Kevin, can you see me where I'm looking?
The camera at the top.
So this is the best way, the way I'm doing it right now.
Cool.
By the time, there's probably a short left.
A little bit high.
That's a little high. So like here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's
perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'm staring at the search bar. This is not weird at all. It's not weird at all. Okay. Next question is from Nicole. She says, before doing a masterclass, do you rehearse? Do you write down the whole thing? Do you do bullet points? What's your process for making it appear effortless and with so much information? So I have been doing this for a long time now, and I think that's an important thing to remember. When I first started this, I took notes, obviously, to try to do my best. And if I didn't, I would get a little flustered and forget what I wanted to say. But with a lot of years doing this work, I found different ways to help me be streamlined. There's also a lot of the work is what I live and breathe. So it isn't cerebral work for me anymore. It's embodied work. So by the time I know what the topic more or less needs to be, the rest just flows through me because I know what I'm here to talk about. Now, I think another part of this is there are different kinds of ways that you can lead a masterclass. There's different kinds of ways you can lead a program. And so my trademark and what I really want is to have that genuine connection with you. That's why it even matters to me. Like, am I looking at the right place? I'll interrupt myself in a program to make sure I'm looking at the right place, because the trademark is that you feel like I'm sitting across from you in your living room. That's what I want. I want it to feel like it's professional and it's well done, but it's just you and I. That's the energy that I always want. And so if I'm constantly reading a paper and always looking at notes, I think it does disconnect. Although in certain of my programs, there's channeled pieces that I like to read, or like I read Pineapple Season is Coming for You the other day, and that kind of felt like it was good to read. But most of the time, I'd prefer to just be a really casual conversation. I feel like that actually lands more for us. We remember more when it's a conversation than when it's a staged thing. So for me, that's my preference. But you will see people who have coaching businesses where everything's on a PowerPoint. You will see people who have notes. You will see all kinds of different things. And so I think it's just also based on your trademark. How do you want to be leading? I know some people who memorize entire scripts by heart. Like, there's so many different ways of doing this work. In the coach program, I definitely go into more detail about this. But I would say, first of all, is just deciding what's more important for you. And if it is important for it to kind of feel like this, then a lot of practice, but mostly embodying your work. Anything that's a part of you, that it doesn't need to be rehearsed, always easier to explain than the things that you just thought of yesterday. You wrote it all down and you want to remember everything you said. I think that's a big distinction. Let's see questions, or not questions, but things that people say. I love that. Embodied work, such a great question. I'm waiting for your eyes to start tripping out. Usually when I come on, there's a white ring around your pupil. It's like hypnosis. Yeah, it's not really showing up in this one. This camera shows your gorgeous eye color. My. Oh, thank you so much. It looks straight. Okay, I love that you're doing this imperfectly. We gotta. So excited to be here. It's all in your energy. Everything works and values and how you represent. Yes, the embodiment. Okay, next question. Jacqualyn says, I've been really struggling to really put myself in marketing. I have ideas for video, but I never do them because I heavily want to avoid being seen and famous. My issue is I feel it's too dangerous to be seen. I don't want to get another stalker, and I don't want some people from my past to find me. I'm also paranoid about people finding out where I live, or being attacked or tortured. I hate the fact or the idea of people recognizing me when I go out shopping. I don't want to lose my privacy. I have an aversion to being seen on social media, and I've avoided it for several years. I've done lists of my whys. I've journaled. I've wrote a letter to my inner child. So much meditation, breath work, but haven't felt any shifts around this. The danger is bigger than any reason I can come up with. I understand the perspective that hiding is letting the stalker win, but I'd rather just stay in obscurity and hide it hidden away. I just keep hiding behind quotes and other images in my posts. I've been able to get myself to use pictures of my face, but I really don't like even putting my face on the internet. I've been told that I might start making sales if I do videos because I'm better on camera, but unless someone is directly forcing me, I don't do it. What can I do? My first intuition is to tell you to start a podcast. I feel like you don't have to be seen if it really is that terrifying to you. If you wanted to start a podcast and have a private group on Facebook, maybe, so only people who really feel connected to you are in your private group and it's not public whatsoever, and if anyone misbehaves in your group, you can remove them. That might be a really great thing. So you get to do podcast episodes, speak to people, and write posts and notes and coursework attached to the podcast, but there's no visual aspect. And if it ever changes, then you can add the visual aspect. But with blogs and podcasts, I think you could actually create something really powerful if it's super important for you that you stay invisible. And you could also do things like get like a cartoon version of you, like someone who draws a cartoon version of you. I know Jerry and Esther Hicks, Abraham Hicks, they do this. So if you go and look at Abraham Hicks, you'll see it's a little cartoon that's talking. And so someone could animate a video of you speaking and it's a cartoon. There's so many ways that you could be creative with this. I don't think you need to push yourself if there's that level of fear and unsafety. There's other ways. There's other ways. And I also have a really strong feeling that with Meta becoming what it's going to become and the NFTs, and I think there's going to be different options like holograms or different like avatars of yourself that you'll actually be able to use to speak through, which might give you that added level of privacy. So I would start with a podcast. I would start with more creative ideas. And I think the future is going to hold really good solutions for you very shortly. Just put your work out there. Just put your work out there, but you don't need to put your face. If it feels that scary, I would not. Let's see. Just talking about this with my husband yesterday, the fear of being seen. I feel her question so powerful. I love the coach program, how it complements with the Impact Academy. Yes. I love doing a podcast. It feels so effortless. I'm sending Jacqualyn so much love. Thank you so much for doing that. I love how Sia found a way to have her music heard, but her face concealed. Yeah, I love that. There's that. Love this so much. This is so innovative. There's also video platforms that do that. So good. On YouTube, cartoon characters. Yeah. How long into your journey were you able to deepen your self-trust to channel programs and then understand the parts that drop in? Ooh. I would say that was probably in 2017. And so I started, 4 years in. So it took a minute. She should get on Clubhouse. Yes, Clubhouse is also really good. It's like a radio, no picture. Clubhouse would also be excellent. Thank you, Katherine. That's a great suggestion. Those animated Abraham Hicks are amazing. Really enjoying this YouTube live stream. And yes, Clubhouse is a great option. So good. All right. Next one is from Amy. She says, how do you bridge the gap and stay the course when you're showing up authentically with your whole heart, knowing this is your life's purpose and calling, but the paid client base is a tiny trickle? This is the hardest thing. And I have had, when the client base was a trickle, I have had times in my life where it felt like nothing was happening. But I think the biggest thing is I knew that as long as I kept working on my craft and I kept doing what I was doing, eventually everything would work out. I would just understand the fact that even though I felt ready, if there was something that wasn't ready, then it would take the time it took. And I just needed to sharpen my edge, become better and better at my work, do more and more trusting, and just know that the people were coming. And it was the greatest thing I've ever done to do that and to not try to push or quit, because ultimately everyone wants immediate success. It's the greatest thing when you try something and it works right away. It's the greatest feeling in the world, but it doesn't always work that way. And when I look back at my journey, I remember one of the biggest milestones that I really, really wanted in my heart is to have 100 participants in a program. And I don't know why that was such an important thing to me, but it felt like a milestone that would show that I was a leader. That's what I had attached. That's the meaning I had attached to it. 100 participants in a program. And it was my Femme Fatale program that I was trying to get 100 participants in. And it was far from that. It was like 20, 30, 50, 40, 30, 50. Like, not only was it not happening, it was going up and down. And I had this moment where I realized, I was like, okay, why do I want 100 people in my program? And I was like, because I feel like that's the milestone in order to be a leader. And I questioned myself and I said, what if there's a reason that I'm not getting these 100 people in this program? What if there's a reason that I'm not thinking of? Like, what might actually happen if 100 people came in that I couldn't handle? And so I had this thought, which was like, I can handle 100 satisfied people. But what if some of those aren't satisfied? Can my heart handle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people who aren't happy? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like, how many could my heart handle that aren't happy? And I was like, none. And so I had a realization, like, I'm an energetic match for 100 satisfied people, but not any that aren't satisfied. So I have got to be able to rock this 20, 30, 100% happy clients until I'm able to hold at least one unsatisfied client, because in growth, we have to be able to hold the flip side. And in my trademark, in the way that I am, in the way that Alpha Femme is represented, if someone wasn't happy, I would have to deal with that in such a powerful way. And do I even know how to do that right now? And so I had one more round at around 50 people, and the next one there was 100. And sorry for that. And there was one person that was not happy with the program. And I realized in that moment, I couldn't have handled two. It hurt me so much that one on 100 was not happy, that I realized why it took so long. And so I think sometimes there's things that we're ready for, but we're only ready for them as long as they go well. So right now, your nervous system is doing very well with the trickling in sales. And although you feel so ready for bigger sales, there could be something that if it happens, if you get more, there's more of something else that you're just not ready for quite yet. So what I would suggest is just keep focusing on strengthening your heart, your core, your ability to be disappointed, your ability to communicate, like strengthen yourself, know you're not going anywhere, and the clients are going to come. It's not a question. They're going to. There's just something that needs to strengthen inside of you. And you will be so grateful when you're strong and you understand why you needed to wait. And you're like, thank goodness it didn't happen to me sooner, because I needed this strength. Okay, let's see. Constantly booking high ticket, higher level one-on-one clients, would love tips. Oh, what are your top tips? So this I talk about in the coach program. I love your advice. I've had amazing success in old paradigm heavy strategy mainstream, and it worked, but now I'm wanting to help newer coaches with what worked no longer feels aligned. Yeah, I understand that. Let's see. So amazing. I love this. Similar to my concept. I love this answer. Beautiful. Fire. I love these powerful conversations. So empowering. Thanks for sharing. I feel this. Can you handle the flip side? The clients will come. Yes, yes, yes. Again, if you're trying to comment and it's not letting you comment, it's because you're not subscribed to the channel yet. So if you subscribe, you'll have about a minute and then you'll be able to comment. Could it be because there's a feeling of unworthiness to receive? It could be, but when I read this, I hear like, when you show up authentically with all your heart, knowing this is your life purpose and your calling, there's a part of me that feels like there's a true readiness for this to work, just a fear of it not working. But it could also be a fear of receiving. That's so beautiful. Thank you for that. And thank you for the feedback for my question. That's exactly where I am. I love it. Thank you. Is there a question we can ask ourselves to discover our purpose if we don't know what lights us up? I don't know that there's just one question you can ask yourself, to be honest. I think it's a journey that you get to be on. Like the first question that you have right now is like, I'm excited to find out what my purpose is. And that question just on its own is going to set you in a direction. You're going to either try things or follow people who do certain things, and it's going to get clear like, oh, no, not that. Or like, oh, yeah, that. But just starting to ask the question, I think, makes a big difference. You can also look at the things that you're really passionate about, whether you're paid or not. I think that really helps. Or like the things you wish the world were different with. Like, what do I wish the world would be different in? What do I wish was different about the world? That might give you some insight. Would you ever consider a representation company? I'm not quite sure what that is. What's one thing you would say to a 10K month version of Melanie? The sky isn't even the limit. I would say focus on your clients with all your heart and soul. Become the greatest possible entrepreneur that you can be today, because the values that you are creating today build the trademark of your company later. Just focus on today with all of your heart, because these foundational pieces are what create the big brand later. I make $25 million a year now because of who I was when I made 10. It is the foundation of who I was and what I wanted to be that created who I am. And so sometimes we think we've got to race to the big picture in order for things to start happening. But the truth is the beginning is the foundation, and it's the most important part. So give it your all. You will never be able to be so clear about your standards as you are now. Right now, you're setting standards that you can absolutely unapologetically claim and hold, because there isn't an over influx of things that are happening that are kicking you out of focus. You can really focus on your your boundaries, on your systems, on your standards. Like you get to create your brand, your trademark now. And so to me, this foundational work was so amazing for me, because had I not put all of that in place then, I wouldn't have time to now be thinking about what I want my company to feel like. It would be too difficult to try to do that now. Like the fact that it was foundationally built and built into everything I've done has been the greatest thing. So that's what I would say. Let's see. How do you know the difference between needing to do emotional intelligence work versus strategy work? My greatest answer to that is, if you feel like you've done everything and it's still not working, it's usually mindset work. If you don't know what to do at all, it's probably a mix of both. But if your feeling is like, I don't understand what's happening, like I've done everything right, why is this not working? It's usually the inner work. And if not, it's both. When did you start to channel? How did you develop the skill? In my car when I was 25. It was the first time I ever channeled something. But the first program I ever channeled was Exponential Wealth in 2018. That's the first full program that I channeled. But receiving a question or receiving a prompt or a sentence or an intuition or like live your life the way you want to tell the story in hindsight type of thing, or zoom out, like voices that I heard that I could tell weren't exactly mine, that was in 2013. Is your work highly spiritual, or is it open to people who come from many spiritual beliefs? I have people that are very, very religious. I have people who are all about the universe, and I have people who are atheists. I have people who kind of pull from all different kinds of belief systems. I think I have a very inclusive brand when it comes to belief systems. You're so intelligent and emotionally intelligent. How do you get to this level? Do you continuously invest in yourself, and how? For me, if you are able to prioritize this yourself without needing to invest in a mentor at all, like if you have the willpower to stay on top of your mental capacities, your emotional willpower, like if you have that, then you don't need to invest in someone to show you how to do that. Where a mentor, I think, really comes in handy is when you enter a next level iteration of yourself, a next level iteration of your clients, and all of a sudden you've got feelings you've never felt before, and it starts to feel overwhelming and really scary, and you're afraid for the future. Having a mentor that can really say, like, I've been through there and here we are now, like, just breathe, you're okay, it's okay. Like having that is so helpful. And also having someone to calibrate to that is in that powerful energy and sees life in such a strong way kind of elevates your perspective. I've had a lot of clients over the years tell me, I'll often think to myself, what would Melanie say, or what would Melanie do in this moment? And it just shows me such a different perspective so fast. Like she would say this, and my voice starts to get in their head, So I feel like for me, because I don't know why or how, because I didn't for most of my life, but there was a moment for me where my willpower for life changed. In my decision to choose my intelligence and a decision to choose my emotional intelligence, both parts of me, and to really raise the bar in how I showed up. But it wasn't like this all my life. It was a decision at some point. So if you're able to get to that decision on your own, that's fantastic. And if not, if it does help to be in an environment where it kind of gets lifted, and that's why it's so incredible to have a mentor or a coach or a community to plug into where the energy supports your energy staying high. So let's see. Is your work, okay, I've already done this one. How do you see NFTs working in the coaching industry, and do you have plans to incorporate them into your work? This would be a question for something else for the moment. I would not go into NFTs in this because it's very complicated and most people are not really knowing what that is. And so I think this would be more of a coach program question. Will there be a replay available of this Q&A? There should be. As long as we find how to do that, yes. And if not, no. That's my answer to that question. I love this live on YouTube. Okay, I notice my own body really play with my actions as well. Like it's funny with what makes me nervous. I haven't caught you live for a while, and it's yummy to be in your vibes. I love you. I love you too, Suzanne. Did your past experience, I think you mentioned it previously, working as a sales manager, for example, set you up running Alpha Femme? Now, if you look back in hindsight, it set me up on how not to run Alpha Femme. It showed me how, because when I was a manager for other people's companies, I was taught how to manage. I was told what to do, and I hated all of it. And so I think it showed me what I did not want to be and what I did not want to do, which is just as valuable. I think every life experience I've had has had a part in me becoming who I am, and I think it's the same for all of us. Every little thing we do, we are, we have, it shapes us in some way. I feel like consistency is the biggest thing in my way. Then you may have your consistency might be like a daily thing, and it may be too much daily. What if your consistency was every other day or every 3 days? And then you picked up the speed. Like, could you decide on a different kind of consistency? But I also have an incredible module about this in Impact Academy. Like, for those of you who are really serious about building an online presence, it's not easy to do this. It requires mindset, it requires strategy, it requires tools. Like, to really build a really, really successful company on social media, there's a reason not a lot of people do this. So if you are like, I don't know what it's up with me, but I can't figure it out, like, this really is a fun program, because a lot of this it's energy work and it's strategic work, but it's who you are. Like, when you decide that you're going to run an online business, it's who you are, and it's incorporating that as part of who you are that makes it more manageable. I feel like I'm saying a lot. Representing a group of amazing women who work under your brand. Sometimes I feel representation more than trying to figure out how to do things myself. It's very challenging sometimes. Representing a group of amazing women who work under your brand. Sometimes I feel representation more than trying to figure out how to do things myself. Do you mean like you would want to sell other people's stuff? That's what my brain is understanding from this. I may be getting it entirely wrong. I very much apologize if I'm not understanding you. Do you think once those foundations become strong, other things fall into place? It's evolution and growth over a lifetime, so there's always going to be something else. What would you do to grow Instagram if you had to start over? This is Impact Academy. Do you have a mentor? Yes, I do. But it's a little difficult at where I am now, because I have to find mentors that are either peers or mentors that have it's a little different where I am right now, because for a private mentor to be like if I wanted to try to find someone who is doing what I'm doing but at a higher level, I haven't found anybody right now. So I have to work with people who are more like support systems, but not really. It's different for me a little bit right now, because there's no one really leading beyond what I'm doing in certain areas. So I've got like spiritual help, and I've got a private trainer. Like, I've got different kinds of support like that, and then mentors, people who've done things differently than me, not necessarily more successful, but differently than me, equal power but different. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Let's see. Also, just wanted to say thank you for the masterclass series. Okay. Oh, I'm realizing there's so many questions here, but I actually have an entire thread that I need to get through. So I'm going to go back to here because these have priority. Okay. The next question is from Rowena, and she says, I'd love to know how you would suggest bringing an important quality to your work that is one that doesn't come so naturally to you. For example, I'd love to have more lightness and fun in what I share, but naturally I always seem to end up quite serious. What I find fun with this is whatever it is that we want to be more of in our life, it becomes our journey to become it. So I remember at the beginning of my life when I say my life, I mean my rebirth life, when I was sleeping in my car, there was this moment of like, I desire to be a person that is confident and passionate and powerful, and I was none of it. So my journey was about becoming it. And as I really embodied that, I started magnetizing people who wanted to learn that from me, because I just had it. I was it. And so I would say, instead of trying to make your brand that way, focus on bringing that into your life. Let that be the focus, bringing it into your life. Your brand will calibrate, the clients will calibrate, the trademark will calibrate. Just focus on making it a part of you first. Ella says, another question I was thinking of for Melanie is back to conflict resolution. What processes and steps do you have for internal conflict within business, with staff, team, clients, others that you use? Do you depend on meditation or systems as a prevention? How do you build team internal systems and culture? So a lot of these questions that I'm realizing now are like course specific. So this is stuff that I teach in the coach program. This is stuff that I teach in Impact Academy, or it's something that I've got a new program coming out this year as well that would hold a lot of this information. But what I can say that would be in alignment with this masterclass is, what would you want your trademark to be? So if, based on how you handle life in general, based on how you present your company, what would be expected for conflict resolution in your company? Like, there's a certain level of respect. Would you learn certain communication skills in order to be like the most powerful communicator that you can be? Would you learn to not be reactive, to not say things right away, but to actually let things land? And learn to breathe and manage your energy. So the tools that you would want to bring into your business are very much like, what's my trademark? How do I treat my team is very much in alignment with how I lead my brand, is very much in alignment with. So I would kind of look at it from that angle for yourself. What do you feel is important for your company? Then Katherine says, can you talk about niche coaches, intuitive, psychic, wellness, health, relationships, sexuality, and the possibilities of reaching millionaire status? I've decided to unlock myself and birth my intuitive guidance business, but I'm challenged with the idea that it will be received with the respect that it deserves. I've spent my life in masculine work, so this shift to exposing my intuitive abilities has me reeling. I ask also for women moving into feminine niches. I think that this work has never been more respected than it is now. I am seeing so many of my clients in spiritual work, feminine energy work, become extremely wealthy, millionaires, multimillionaires. The beauty of this work is that you have to be the full embodiment of it. Because when someone chooses a mentor in feminine energetics, the most important thing is, does this person feel embodied in feminine energetics? Or does it feel like a cerebral explanation of something they've heard? The biggest difference between the ones who become very wealthy and the ones who don't is how embodied they are in their own spirituality. And you can imagine this for yourself. If you're going to learn full-blown spirituality and feminine energy from a person, you have an image in your mind of what that person feels like to you. And so if the journey of your life is embodying that, you will always have the clients for you. If your message is more so, or if your energy is like, well, I'm in feminine energy a lot, but not all the time, then what you might be looking for is creating a business that helps women balance masculine and feminine energetics. So it's really finding the right wording that really explains what it is that you do. If you are fully in your feminine, you're a sensuality, intuition, feminine energetics coach, there's an energy, there's something that feels like. And so the work is to become an energetic match for that. And if you feel like, I would never be an energetic match for that, I don't think that that's quite right, then it's refining the words until you really figure, like, this holds me. This holds me. All right, let's see. Brand stories. When you are determining your staple brand stories, what process do you use and how do you determine its evolution demographics? There are many methods that I'm aware of. So I actually have a program called Le Narrateur. I didn't speak about it this week. I hoped I would have time to like enter the zone of storytelling a little bit, but there was just so many other things that we dived into. But I have a program that's called Le Narrateur. That's the narrator, the art of storytelling. We did a 4-module course on it last year, and we're going to be redoing it this year with the different angles and different things. What I love about this is it's the art of storytelling. In written form and in spoken form, how to really get your stories out, what stories matter, and not just how to tell them, but how to write them, how to capture them, how to live your life in a way where stories come easily for you, and how to choose which ones to tell. So I'll talk about that more during Shop with Me a little bit, but that would be in the Narrateur program. But again, to bring it back to trademark, it's like, which stories are in alignment with my trademark? I have so many funny stories. I have so many good stories in my life that have happened to me that I might share, in my mastermind, or I might share because they come to mind in a certain program, but they won't be my staple stories because they're not really in alignment with my trademark. But they're still crazy, amazing stories. And I'm glad that I know how to tell them. And, if I'm at a party and we're all comparing stories, I'll often have the wildest stories. People are like, what is your life? I'll have all these wild stories to tell, but they may not be the ones that I tell on a free masterclass or on my social media. They're like more behind the scenes once you get to know me stories. So what's in alignment with your trademark? Does it make sense for the world to know this of you as they first recognize you as your brand? Or is this more of a behind the scenes once they get to know your heart kind of story? Cortney says, I'm realizing that I put myself out there and it means sharing parts of myself that are vulnerable. This particularly terrifies me in regards to my family's reaction to what I might share. This is such a huge childhood trigger for me, and you hit the nail on the head when you said that that staying in a place where everyone likes you will never work. Criticism and judgment are my biggest fears, and this keeps me small. I'm so ready to break this pattern. Any suggestions on how to get over this? There's a few things here. So I've built a business sharing a lot of stories, but I've also been very aware that all the stories that have ever happened for me in my life touch other people as well. And so there are certain of the stories that have happened in my life that I wouldn't share because I respect the privacy of the other person in the story. And I've been able to build an extraordinary business with so many powerful stories without exposing vulnerable or misaligned stories for a certain family members that the relationship I have with them really matters to me. And I think that what it all boils down to is you may not tell every story, but the mystery and the fact that there are so many stories about you that we will never know actually makes you more interesting and more extraordinary. People think they know us just because we post stuff on social media. They have no idea. They know the tip of the iceberg. But our real strength, some of the most heartbreaking things we were ever told or that we've ever faced, most of the world will never know that. And so I think that just in knowing that and remembering that for ourselves and for others, that even the people who are super vulnerable online and expose so many things, they are probably still not showing everything. There's still stuff that's even more vulnerable and even deeper that they've never shared. It gives us that little bit of respect for each other also, like based on what I know, ... instead of your blah, 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 so you'll figure out what stories are right for you. And you'll find that some aren't worth telling, and some are, and there's a way to tell them. So instead of being afraid, you get to be brave, solid, and inquisitive, like curious. How do I tell the story in a way that lands and protects everyone? And there is a way. You will find a way. I have no fear for you. You will find a way. Okay. I would love to know about how much to lean into strategy versus energetics. For example, there are a lot of coaches out there that teach if you're posting 80%, or 100% on Facebook, it should be 80% about yourself, 20% about your business. Do you believe that I will just navigate that uniquely for each program, or do you still have a foundation of strategy? I don't really believe in percentages like that. For me personally, I don't believe in percentages like that. And I also feel that based on your trademark, it's different. So for example, QVC has a lot more than 80%, or a lot more than 20% selling. It's basically all selling. And then you have channels that people pay extra to have zero advertising on it. You've got to find what your trademark is. What's your trademark? It'll help you find the balance. In Impact Academy, that's where I help you find that balance. But without my course, if you wanted to focus on that for yourself, it's like, what's my trademark? How much do I want people to watch me sell? And you can look at other people's profiles and say, look, that feels like too much for me. That feels like not enough for me. That feels really fun. Like, notice what you like and what you don't like. That's a really great way to lead yourself through it. Hi there. I struggle with being clear on who I'm speaking to when I'm creating content online. Do you have a practice that you like doing that helps you tap into your dream soul client? A lot of the trademark work that we did on day one, I don't know if you've watched day one yet, but I think that's really helpful. And again, it's based on the iteration of who you are right now. Based on who you are right now, who's the person you feel most comfortable helping? I think that's one of the easiest questions. And as you develop and as the current iteration of you changes, that response will change. So it's asking yourself that question as often as possible and tapping into that evolution. Because if you allow yourself to change, you will. And it's the one that's most capable of change that is the most sustainable brand anyway. So Jill says, what would you do if it seems like nothing is working? I started a physical product business last year, but I have not had very much luck with getting orders. It's hard to detach from the outcome because I want the business to work, but I just don't know where to get. I don't know how to get to do so. How would you shift your energetics or mindset in order to do it, in order to get to a better feeling place? If you're going to be doing it organically, I would say that the most important thing is to learn to network. And this is something that you would learn in Impact Academy, but really learning how to connect with other entrepreneurs and creating a connection, building a community of people who really know you and know your product. All the women that I've helped become really successful with the product line, it's if it was going to be organic, because if not, you pay for ads, you pay for branding, marketing, all those things. But if you want it to be organic, it's based on relationships and a community that wants to buy from you. That's what I would focus on the most, more than any other thing, building a community and a connection with people so that they find out about you. I have had the most difficult time with being able to truly articulate what I do. I've experienced so many transformations in life and I've overcome so much, and I've supported women through various categories in my coaching practice. When I've tried to niche down before, it didn't resonate and the results showed. So for now, I've been calling myself a trauma-informed mindset coach. Will the specificity support me to make more money in my coaching practice? Am I just standing in my own way by not picking a specific category? It depends who you ask. So there are people who swear by niching. They're like, this is what you've got to do. You've got to be so specific about what you do. It's the only way. And then there's like me, who sells, feminine energetic work, leadership work, branding, social media, sales, money, quantum realm. Like, I have so many different angles to all of my work. And I feel like I can niche a program without having to niche myself. I don't need to put myself in a box. I get to be who I am. And each program has its own thing. My greatest thing for you in this would be to say, and I can't remember if this was in module 1 or 2 of the masterclass, but like, I cannot be defined in a 150 character bio. This is why it's all about the building of our trademark and of our brand, because when you start to build a community and people start to really follow you and start to plug into your message and they read all your posts, your story is building. You do one post about what you care about, one post about where you come from, and one post about a breakthrough that you had, and one post about something that changed your life, and one post about something you've learned today, and one post about one of your most important core values, and one post about something that your client had a breakthrough on, and one post about a testimonial. And as people are really getting into your brand and they're reading all of this, they're going to start to understand the depth of you. The whole beauty of social media is, instead of it being just like a website that's one still shot, it's this building on itself. Social media builds on itself. So as you become more, you're building more with your posts, your Facebook lives, your Instagram, and so people are staying connected with you and they're getting to know you more with every single thing that you post. And it's a journey. The more you become, the more you post about, people add a deeper understanding of who you are. And it's a body of work that grows over time. And if you see it like that, you really recognize the power of social media. You don't need to censor yourself for it to fit in a bio or an about me section. You're building your bio every day with every post you write. Let's see. Although I'm a 3-5 profile, I'm terrified of failure and I'm slowly easing myself into it. Any advice? How did you deal with it? It's not just because you're a 3-5 that you wouldn't be terrified of failure. It's just that you're good at it. You'd have to be willing to go play in the field of failure. What I've found for me is I have learned confidence where I've succeeded, and I've learned strength where I've failed. And until I realized and recognized how much power there was in my mistakes, they were terrifying to me. I didn't want to lose face. I didn't want to look silly. I didn't want to be wrong. But when I recognized how much I can collapse time with a mistake, I realized I'm going to go all in, because it's either going to work and then I'll be just that much more confident, or it's going to fail and I'm going to collapse time around how fast I learned the lesson. And it's that, like, let's go. Like, it's okay. It's that energy that kind of got me more used to that 3-5 design, which you've just got to trust it. It doesn't make it more fun or easy to fail at first, just knowing this. It's with the experience when you start to see, like, holy moly, every single time I fail, something incredible happens. Holy pickles, on the back end of every downfall, there's this skyrocket thing. Holy, like, what is happening? And then eventually it's like, okay, well, if it's going to work, let it work. If it's going to fail, let it fail. Either way, I win. And that's a pretty cool place to be, but you got to trust it. Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd love to ask you how you navigate a deep love and care for your clients while navigating boundaries for your own time and self-care, all without them feeling like they aren't being seen and heard. I feel like I haven't been treated well by other coaches before who've had strict boundaries around certain things, which has been fine, but the way it's gone about sometimes can feel unkind in a way. I want everyone to feel validated, but not at the expense of my own energy, or to make them feel how I have before. I feel and I care so much that sometimes I allow this to take over my own time and self-care, because I really want to help them, but I understand long-term this isn't a good way for managing my time. So this is like goddess training. So alpha to alpha, femme fatale are really good for this kind of conversation, but this is what I can share with you. My beginnings as a coach, all I had to do was take care of my clients. And so if your purpose and your calling is just to take care of people, be there for people, and really, really just like be there for your clients, the best way is to have a very small boutique business where you really are taking care of people individually, one-on-one. That is the greatest way to do that. As you start to evolve your brand, and what I love about this, and we talk about this also in the coach program, is that you've got to manage your clients, but you've also got to manage potential clients, followers, people who are meeting you for the first time. And so if you only care about people once they pay you, people who are coming into your world brand new, who don't feel seen or respected, get turned off by that. Like, oh, unless we're paying you, we get no respect. That's great. And so you get to a certain point where you may need help and support. This is where the Alpha team came in for me. Like, there comes a time where if I want to deliver world-class communication to everyone in my world, I'm going to need to have a support team, because I can't be everything for everybody. But it's the intention behind the communications. If people are bothering you, and that this does happen when we stretch ourselves too thin, when we have too many clients, or we have too many followers and too many people in a program and not enough support system, not enough employees, not enough people that are helping us, it becomes that people bother us when they write to us, and they can feel that. And so more so than the boundaries, the issue is like, you're annoying. And that's what people feel like. You're bothering me. You're annoying me. I don't have time for this question. And that's probably what you experienced feeling when someone's level of growth went too big and they didn't have the correct support system. And so just having compassion that they hadn't yet understood how important it was to have a support team, that they wanted to do everything themselves, is just not sustainable to do that after a certain point. So I think for me, the key has been to find the team that cares about me, you, and the business as much as I do. People who actually care so much. Like, the members of the Alpha Femme team are so dedicated to this work, and it's such a relief for me to have them, because it's like having 15 hearts. Like, if mine is overbooked, I don't need to worry, because Vanessa's kicks in, and Emmanuel's kicks in, and Stephanie's kicks in, and Cheryl's kicks in, and Tammy's kicks in, and Lisa and Cam and everyone's got your back. And so that, I think, has been such a really beautiful thing for me, is just having that support system. And if it got to the fact that we were too stretched again, we would just grow the team. Like, the number one thing for me in the Alpha Femme brand is customer experience and support, making sure that people feel seen. But I can't do that on my own, but I can make sure that my company does that. And so bringing in people who genuinely care and taking care of them, so that they're not, making sure that they're taken care of, so they can take care of your people. Okay, I would like to start an in-person health and wellness business. Do you have a program that would support me during this process? The coach program. That one would be the coach program. And the thing is, if you want to be using social media, so I'm going to talk about a bundle also, because the ideal bundle is Impact Academy, Coach, Cash. And then if you're going to be using social media, like those 4 courses are such a game changer for this because they hold everything. I mean, the Alpha Femme experience holds everything, but these four courses together are really a beautiful, like, focused time to work on this stuff. So I'll talk about it more in Shop With Me, though. It'll become a lot clearer when I talk about it there. Okay, this is a burning question that I've been wanting to ask. Essentially, my superpower is building relationships. I meet for coffee often with the most incredible women, and though I can see an opportunity that makes complete sense that serves that person, it appears they would rather be my friend than my client. I don't want to close down my heart and be the expert, but what advice do you have for me so that I can naturally talk about my work that creates curiosity and intrigue? I think I give off too much of the nice girl energy that a person feels like I'll just help them, or I'll just give them any help they need. So let's just ask this question to the people in the live YouTube chat. Who here would like to be my friend? Like, yes, of course, you'd love to be my client, sure. But if you could choose, who here instead would be like, can we just go for coffee and you help me instead regularly? Can I pick that as a choice? Like, who would choose be my friend instead? Just look at what's going to happen here. So it's like, of course they want to be your friend. You're wonderful. Of course they want to be your friend. It's just that you would not be able to be everybody's friend like that. Eventually would just burn out. And so it's not possible. So right now, the only reason you're making yourself so available to go for coffee and chat with these people is because you don't have a lot of people in your calendar right now. And so there's a lot of spaciousness. And it feels like they could just be your friend. So what I would say is maybe change the vocabulary around these meetups. Instead of like, should we just go for coffee and chat? Call it a consult. Like, would you like to go for a consultation over coffee? And it creates an energetic that's like, this is a business construct. I'm going to talk to you about business. We're going to talk about what we could possibly do together, but we'll call it a consultation so that we're both very aware of what this is. And you still get to be kind and you still get to be everything you are. Just the name of the meeting changes the energetics. I would try that on just for fun. All right. How do you tend to equalize your energy when the dualities of life flood in? Such a good question. I think we all equalize the energy when the duality comes in. And the way that we do that is we limit one or the other sides of growth. And so let's say what I really want is a level 100 growth, but I don't want a level 100 duality pain. Then I'll sacrifice the level of growth to protect the level of pain. So that's how we equalize. Growth occurs like this. And it's not because you have to hurt as much as you succeed. It's that you have to be able to. So if you are going to have this amount of success, but you can't handle the flip side and failure, it's not safe to put you in that level of success because everything has an energetic flip side. And so you're always equalized. No matter what bad thing is happening in your life, if you were not completely blinded by the pain, you'd be able to see that you are living a beautiful energetic flip side to that. That you have so many things that are working, but you're not looking at those right now because the pain is the thing that's making you pay attention so much. But we're always equalized. Pain, like growth occurs this way. To the level of pain you can handle, the level of growth you can hold. And so it's always equalized. Sometimes if you forget that, just try to pay attention to how much you have that's good. Even when it's hard, even when you're going through something so hard, you'll find there's a lot of good. It's always equalized. Okay, how can someone who is not a coach but has coaching skills become a coach? Have offers? Is there a program offered through the Alpha Femme? So this would be the coach program. And I'm going to talk about it more in the Shop With Me event, if you can make it onto that, or if you can watch the replay of that. But I think the greatest place to start, in my experience, but I'm going to show you all kinds of different ways to start in the coaching program, but starting with one-on-one coaching, just to see how you do with people, and eventually you're going to start to see trends, then you can create programs. But sometimes the program has so much pressure, like, how do I build a program? where if you were to have X amount of conversations over time and notice patterns, the program would happen so easily. A lot of my work is based on what I've taught the most high performance clients that I've had through helping them achieve, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7-figure brands. It's the coaching that I gave them that I noticed, whoa, I'm saying the same thing to every woman at this level. Oh, I'm saying everything, same thing. Then that became a module in a program. So a lot of my work is based on real results from clients. And I think that's why, as far as industry goes, my programs are really, really recognized for their potency and their results, is because they're not just, here's a thought I had. They're like, here's the proven methodology that's helped my clients create all of this in a module in a program. So sometimes it's just that one-on-one work, deepening your craft, really educating yourself, becoming the best that you can be, finding your own voice, and then, scaling it to programs if that's a little more difficult at the beginning. I'm curious how to determine how much to pay my employees. Is there a standard range for the job description? As I scale, is it a percentage to keep? How do you determine what is aligned to keep employees and staff happy? So this is going to be in a newer program that's going to be talked about later in the year for me. But again, if we bring it back to trademark, it's like, what's your trademark? And so for me, one of my visions that I've had ever since I decided I was going to have employees is I said, I want working for Alpha Femme to be better than working for Google. That was like my thing. I want more freedom, even more money, more opportunities, more. Like I want more. I want that. That's my dream. That's my want. And so in the way that I've paid my employees and in the way that I've done the things that I've done, and I continue to do the things that I do and that I evolve the way that I do, I always hold that in mind. Like I want us to have something that's so good that it rivals Google. So it's going to change what I decide to pay people right off the hop. It's going to change bonus structures. It's going to change opportunities for growth. It's going to change how I treat them and career paths and longevity and how I talk to them about their jobs and how long I want to work with them. And it changes everything. And so I would look again, what's your trademark? How do you want, if someone says that someone's worked for you in the past, what do you want them to say? Is it an amazing thing to work for your company? Is it normal? Like, what's the vibe? And that's going to help you figure out how you want to pay your people. So loving this incredible masterclass, my first one with you, and I'm so excited. I would love to hear you talk about the middle of your story, the in-between, around the time you decided to start the Alpha Femme brand. What inspired that move? And what would you say were the things that really made a difference in your way of thinking? The craziest thing is that this masterclass is that the biggest difference between Melanie and Layer before Alpha Femme and Melanie and Layer now is Alpha Femme. And Alpha Femme is the trademark. It was having something, it was creating a brand so big that I had to calibrate in order to lead it. Creating a trademark so big for my brand that I had to become a stronger leader, a more eloquent speaker, a more in-depth, intelligent, emotionally intelligent human being. Like everything about me had to calibrate in order for me to execute the trademark I envisioned. That's what got me here. And so that's why I was so excited to lead this masterclass for you, because this work that I've taught you, and you're going to listen to this through a certain lens and through a certain level of comprehension. And my hope is that you revise this masterclass over and over again, because the real truth is that if you could listen to this with a millionaire mind, if you could listen to this with the mind of a millionaire, it would land so much more, because you'd already have so many of these principles in place. If you'd already made 6 figures in your business and you were listening to this, this is a multimillionaire telling me what brought her brand from multiple 6 figures to multi-millions. Am I really listening? Because this is it. I'm not holding anything back. It is very simple, but it's the things don't get more complicated. It's our dedication to them and our understanding of them that changes everything. And so that's why I really encourage people to stay in this work and to develop this work and to do it over and over again, and to be immersed in an experience like the Alpha Femme experience, where it's like every day you're involved in this. There is no time for your mind to go somewhere else and forget what you're up to. You are leading your life with your purpose and your strength and your way, and you're learning how to become a better, more powerful, aligned version to your trademark every single day. And you're holding that in your vibration because you're walking with people who are doing it too. And so for me, this is it. This is the work. It's it's having something that holds you, a vision that's so big that it holds you through every iteration of who you become. That's how I got here. Can you talk about or share your graphic tips? Like which platforms do you create them on? I started doing all my own designs by myself in Canva, and you can do like tutorials on YouTube, have great tutorials for Canva. Now all our branding is done in-house, and I couldn't even tell you what platforms are used, so above my head, but it's like Adobe stuff. Like I'm not the one anymore, and it's beyond anything I've ever been capable of doing. So, and also I only started with this kind of brand in 2020. So we were already making multi-millions by then, so you don't have to have a brand like mine to become successful. This gets to be the next level iteration of you. And at that point, I would suggest that you hire someone who knows what they're doing, or hire someone that is so dedicated to your brand, and have them get educated within the brand, have them take courses, have them learn inside of your brand and pay them to learn. That's what we did with Shannon, and really give her space and the opportunity to have the time to practice and to become who she became internally inside of the brand. Either find someone or build someone inside of your brand. But that doesn't have to be today, but it could be a long-term vision. Another question, systems. What do you use to keep yourself and team organized? A special planner, digital system to keep everyone on the same page? This is another important thing that's going to come in a later program for me this year, but what's the most important when you're building a team is that your team knows how to stay organized. If you're an organized person, you already know all the systems, whether it's Excel spreadsheets or whatever it is that you love. If you're an organized person, you know how to be organized. If you are not, in fact, an organized person, there are no amounts of softwares on the planet that will help you become one, in my experience. You've got to find people who love organization. People who are like, I have an idea. Why don't we put this on an Excel spreadsheet? And I'm like, sure, as long as I don't need to do anything, that's perfect. So I stay connected with my people through voice messages. I built my entire business through Messenger. I'll never forget when Emmanuelle joined the team in 2019. She was the first person to ever really join the Alpha Femme Brand. And she was like, okay, so how do you stay connected with all your clients? And I was like, Messenger. And she said, okay, but how do you track like their birthdays and stuff? And I was like, Facebook. And she was like, okay, but like, how do they pay you? And I said, paypal.me. And but how do you track the payments? Well, if they default, I'll see because I check my PayPal every day. She was like, this is a nightmare. You have 283 clients and you know all of them in Messenger? And I was like, yes. She was like, this is not good, Melanie. And I was like, why not? She's like, I'm going to help you. And then she came in with all the Excel spreadsheets and all the things, and she saved the day and she turned my company into a real company. Because until then, it was like, Facebook told me it was your birthday. Happy birthday. Like we had no way of tracking anything because I don't know how to do that. I'm an artist. Organization is not part of my gifts in life. So I hired people who were organized, and now they have their own structures and their own systems. Because if it were me, it'd all be done in Messenger. I don't think I'd have changed a thing. Thank goodness for my team. That's all I'm going to say. Hello, Melanie. Thank you so much. I'd love to know the timeline of your transition. How did it happen for you? Like, what did you offer? What was the price range? And then how did you get the first women in a what price range? So this is like a huge piece of the coaching program. I really go behind the scenes because as I'm teaching every module, I'm sharing the timeline of how it occurred for me. So I hope you understand there's things that I can't just share in the Q&A because they're actual things that go inside of the program. And I'm realizing we must have done a really good job with the program or with the masterclass, because not many of the questions had anything to do with the masterclass. Like it wasn't clarification questions or something that wasn't clear. It was all like, we want more. Like, let's go super deep into this and let's go super deep into that, which I think is good because ultimately it means the masterclass was well-rounded. And I could talk about this stuff all day. I just love it so much. And I wish I could give you everything, but it's also a reason that I have all these incredible programs is because of how much knowledge I have and I have to put it somewhere, And if I give you all the best stuff in the Q&A, for those of you who bought the programs, you're going to show up, you'll be like, hey, you said all this in the Q&A. So can't do that. It's got to be good. Although I kind of feel like I want it. I'm determined to get into AFE this year. Yay, you nailed the masterclass. This is me looking forward to my day getting someone. Until then, just keep shining. Yes, pineapple season. So good. So good. Everything we need shows up in divine timing. This is a disaster. Yes. Oh my gosh. So I want to end this on this. Tomorrow is our shop with me. And so there's still going to be a little bit of teaching in there because I want to be able to set you up powerfully to kind of see if you can, plus we'll also have access to the replay and watch it within different contexts in your mind, but how to really listen to it as though you're learning and how to listen to it as though you're shopping, because there's two perspectives on tomorrow's call that I think are fun for everyone to be watching. I really enjoyed this masterclass, and I had said that I would not do another free one just because we crashed the internet last year, but we were just careful and we did it in the Alpha Femme group, and I actually think it went really well. And so if you enjoy these masterclasses and you want me to do more free ones, just please share, let people know that this was good. If it goes around and it helps a lot of people, then it's worth doing them. If it stays really small and it's the same people that do all the things with me, then I end up doing less of them. It's just like my Manny Gen sacral is either like, this is so good and it's helping so many people, or it's like, well. So it's easy to share now. You know, the videos are up on YouTube, so everything is so easy to share. And I still need to do an affiliate video, which I will do. For the affiliates, people do need to sign up through the masterclass page. So we will be removing the dates from the page, and it will just be like a sign up to receive the replays. But if you do sign up as an affiliate, make sure that the people that you're referring are signing up through the masterclass page and not just watching the YouTube videos, because or else there's no way for me to connect them to you. So share the actual masterclass sign up page. It's better that way. And I will be doing an affiliate live for you as well. So I just want to thank you. Honestly, this is so fun and I'm going to miss you guys. This was a lot of fun, but we have one more day tomorrow. I look forward to it. How long have we been here? It was an hour and 7 minutes. Not too bad. We did good. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. J'apprends juste à te connaître, je te trouve merveilleuse. Merci. Thank you all so much. You have a defined throat in HD. Me, personally, manifesting generators, don't all manifesting generators have? I think all manifesting generators do. That's what makes us manifesting generators, I think. I just found you this week and I'm in love. That makes me so happy. This is magic. Looking forward to the shop with me. Thank you for all of it. YouTube's a great platform. Thank you for adding it to your brand. It's my pleasure. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I will do more beautiful things here. If you're not subscribed yet, please make sure that you are, because if I do any new fun stuff, and there's also apparently a little bell that you can click next to the subscribe button that lets you know whenever I do stuff. So that's also fun. All right. I feel complete. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for a beautiful Q&A. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your presence. I'm so grateful for you. And I will see you on the internet. Bye.